Hi, I'm Michaela with TechWise Academy. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be going over a code.org walkthrough. We're going to be going over Course A, Lesson 8. And this is going to be one of our favorite ones. It is Loops with Scrat. So feel free to pause the video as you see fit. If you want to try the puzzles out on your own and then come back and watch the video, that works too. So we're going to go ahead and jump into code.org. On the screen we have code.org. We're going to go into Learn at the top. And then grades K through 5, we're going to click the course button, Course A, and we're going to go to Loops with Scrat, which is puzzle or lesson number 8, and we're going to start with number 1. So this is 8-1. If this comes up on the screen, that's fine. We'll just click somewhere else off of that. It says help Scrat across the slippery ice to get to the acorn. So here is our work area. This is where we've got run. This is where we will tell the code to run. And then this is the step button. This is where we can do one step at a time or one line of code at a time. These are our toolboxes, and this is our workspace. So I see that I need to get to the acorn, so I'm going to go over. I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm really glad that acorn wasn't so far away, because if it was, this was only 5 blocks. What if it was 100? I would have had to gone all the way down and kept counting, and I would have had to try to keep track of, okay, was that 99? Was that 100? Do I need to add one more? So I'm going to go ahead and hit run. Perfect. And then code.org does show me that if I were to hit reset, and I can hit run and reset as many times as I want. There's no penalty for doing that. If I hit run, code.org does tell me which line of code it's doing because it has a yellow block or a yellow line going around it. So I can hit continue, but before I do, when you see this screen come up, this is a really good indicator that would be a good time to pause the video in case you wanted to do the next puzzle all by yourself. So when you see this screen come up, it's a good sign that would be a good time to pause the video if you so choose to do so. So this one is going to be puzzle 2, and it says use both west and south blocks to get to the acorn. So it looks like I need to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5. So we're going to go over, and I'm going to break this problem down because it's going to have me use 2 blocks. So I'm going to do just this first one first. So I'm going to worry about just this W. So I'm going to take this big problem and I'm going to break it down into smaller problems. That's called decomposition. So I'm going to decompose this one by only worrying about just the west blocks first. And I know that I need to go, oops. If this happens, that means that it is not connected and the code will only run 2 W blocks as opposed to 3. So it does need to click in. I do have my site muted right now, but it would make a noise if you were doing it. Let me see if I can drag that. It might not let me drag that. There we go. So I have 1, 2, 3. I could hit run just to see where this gets me. And it got me to here. So I need to keep going for 2 more. So we'll do west and west. I'm going to try this one. So I hit run and then I hit reset to make Scrat start back over. Excellent. But now if I go west one more time, I'm going to be in the water. And we can't have that. So I'm going to go down and then down. If you do end up in the water, that's okay. That just means that you have a bug in your code. So then what I like to do sometimes is I like to hit the step button so it will run one line of code at one time. So if you do have a bug in your code or a mistake or an error, that's okay. Just go back, find it, and then correct it. And then we can move on from there. So mistakes are okay. They are perfectly fine. They are how we run or how we learn. I'm going to go ahead and press run. So Scrat should be going all the way over, and then we're going to go down. And Scrat was able to get their acorn. Again, if you see this come up, this is a good sign that I'm going to move on to the next puzzle. But if you would like to try it first, go ahead and pause the video. This is actually a really great video about loops. So it looks like there are these repeat loops in here. I'm not going to watch the video, but I do recommend it. It is a fantastic video. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And now we're on puzzle 4. So it says, can you get to the acorn with just one W block? Try using a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it says I can only use one. So what's going to happen is I need to use a repeat loop. So I could go and put this one block, because it's the only one I have, inside this pink loop. And this will tell the computer, or this will tell Scrat, that when I press run, we're going to do whatever inside this pink loop 5 times. So we're going to go over 5 times, which this would be, it will let me use these blocks, but it's not going to be part of my puzzle. It's just going to allow me to put them in the workspace. This line of code on the left with the repeat loop, this is actually the exact same thing, because this says I will go over 5 times. So I will go 1 to the west. Was that 5 times? Nope. Go over again. Was that 5? Nope. Go over again. All the way to, we've done it 5 times. And the computer won't lose track. It doesn't need to take a break. So if I had Scrat keep doing this for 100 times, it would be perfectly fine. The computer doesn't need it to go get a snack. It's just going to keep going until either the loop is done or until a computer programmer ends the loop or interrupts it. So this exact same code is this same code here. And I know that because this is going over 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you ever see something in a pattern or something that's happening over and over and over again, try using a repeat loop and see if it saves you space, because this only used 3 blocks and this I would have had to have used 6. And it's a little bit longer and it's a little bit easier for me to find bugs or mistakes in my code. So I'm going to use a repeat loop on this. And now Scrat is going all the way over and got their acorn. We're going to hit continue. This one says add 1 more block to get Scrat all the way to the acorn. When this shows up on your screen, I like to test what it does first, just to see what code.org gave me. And then I can go from there. So I'm going to see what code.org already gave me. I think the 1 block that I'm going to need to add is right here. Oh, okay. Let me take this part off first. So the reason Scrat didn't run when I hit run is because this code was incomplete. So I want to see what this did first. So this was code.org's code. They gave it to me. If you have this one attached, Scrat will not run. It'll say the code's not finished or something like that. Perfect. So this is actually what they gave me. So they gave me part of the puzzle. And now I need to go, it looks like I need to go south. But I only have one of the south blocks. So it looks like we're going to do another repeat loop, because we had a repeat loop for east. We went over 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to go down 4. If I didn't want it to be 4, I could change this number right here, and I can pick a new number. So we will reset Scrat, and then Scrat will go onwards. So we have finished the puzzle that they started for us. They just needed another block. Perfect. We're going to go on to puzzle 6. And this one, it says, can you add a loop to get to the acorn? Okay, so it looks like they're short a loop. So it looks like something else is going to be repeated. So it looks like we're going to go over 4 times to the east, and then we're going to go down 4 times to down southwards. So if I did that, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first part of the code. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this problem is actually really broken down into 3 smaller problems. We got from here, we went from here, and now this is the third part of the smaller problem. So this is going to be where it asks me to add a loop. So I'm going to add a loop. So as I see something that I'm going to do over and over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to keep moving west, over, 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 over. So let's go ahead and restart that. Beautiful. There's the second part of the code, and then this is the part that we added. Excellent. And then this is puzzle 7. Ooh, they didn't start this one for us, so we're going to have to do this one by ourselves. 1, 2, so down, 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 down. That's something that repeats again. I said down 4 times. Down, 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 down. So I'm just trying to get to this spot. I'm not going to worry about getting here right now or getting to the acorn. I just want to do my code in smaller sections, because I find that it's easier. If I did have a mistake, it's easier to go through and check for mistakes here as opposed to when I have tons and tons of code. So I like to do it that way. It's helpful for me to break it down to smaller problems when I'm looking at bigger tasks. So now I'm here, and that's what this code gave me. And now I need to go over to the west. West, 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 west. That is something that repeats. So I'm going to drop a west block in here. So now my second problem is that I want to get to about this corner. That's what I'm hoping for with these 2 lines of code. Perfect. Over, over, over. And then it looks like I need to go 1, 2, up, 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 up. So it looks like I need 4 up. So I did not have to change this little number right here. But this block, if I hadn't used the repeat loops, this code would have looked like this, where I have 4 south blocks, 1 for each of these little snow blocks. And then it would have been, I have 4 W blocks, 4 west blocks. This is where we start to go at the bottom part of this. And then I would have also had to have had 4 norths. Oof, wow. This code is taking up quite a bit of space in my workspace. And I constantly have to keep moving blocks back and forth. So this code is actually the exact same as this. This just uses a lot more blocks and is a little bit harder to tell what's going on. We could definitely look at it line by line, and that's a very helpful trick. But this one I know that I'm going south 4 times, so I don't necessarily have to count all of these right here. So it's going to save you time, it's going to save you space in your workspace, and it's going to make life a little bit easier when you are trying to debug a puzzle or a code or anything else that you're debugging. Debugging is just the process of looking for errors and correcting it. Wonderful, Scrat got their acorn, so we'll hit continue. This one says, can you fix this code? So we were just talking about debugging, and that is perfect. So this one has an error in it. So I'm going to see what happens just when we go. So it looks like we should go over, up, to the west, to the south. So I'm going to see what they've given us. And I'm going to watch this yellow arrow or this yellow line going around to see what it's doing. So this one looks okay so far. Oh, but then he went into the water. Oops. So it looked like I had an error. So it looks like this line of code was okay. And then we somehow happened to fall into the water. So it looks like they had us only moving up 3 spaces, but that would be 1, 2, and 3. And then, Scrat fell in the water. So I'm going to take their code. I'm going to change it to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is one of the errors that they had in their code. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now let's see what happens. Hopefully Scrat can get the acorn now. This is the part they had correct. And then this is the part they had a 3, so they had to go up 3 times, and we had to go up 5 times. Now it's doing this part, and now it's doing this part. So there's just a minor little error, but we were able to help them debug it and go on from our mistakes. This one is puzzle 9, and it looks very similar to what we just saw on puzzle 8. So I'm going to kind of take what I did there, and we're going to try and do it here. So I'm going to not worry about all of this right now. I just want to go to this corner. So it looks like I need to go east. So east, 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 east. That's a repeat because I'm saying that over and over and over again. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to the east. And then we should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. That's exactly where I wanted to get for right now. Now I need to go south. And it looks like I only have one of those 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So south, 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 south. That's what this code says. This one says east, 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 east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. So hopefully I'm able to get to this bottom corner. And then I'll worry about this part, and then I'll worry about this part. So this problem can be decomposed into 4 little problems. There's 4 small problems hiding in this big problem. Perfect. Now I need to go west, west, west. But I don't need to go 5 times. So I need to make sure that I change this so that it is 1, 2, 3. So I need to go 3 spaces to the west. So hopefully now I should be able to get to this little corner of it. and then hopefully Scrat will be able to get to their acorn. This is the second small problem, and then coming up shortly here will be the third small problem. Wonderful. And we're here, so we need to go ahead and add one more repeat loop, and it looks like we're going to go up, up, up. So that's doing the same thing over and over and over again, but I only said 3 ups, so I don't need it to have 5 ups. So hopefully this time we can get all the way around the ice, and Scrat will be able to get their acorn. While I'm thinking about it, this is an algorithm. These are step-by-step directions in order to complete a task. We do this when we follow recipes, we do this when we do our morning routine. We follow algorithms all the time. Sometimes they're written out, like this one is, or sometimes they are verbally spoken to us, or sometimes they just live in our head. So that's an algorithm. I hit continue, so ooh, a challenge puzzle. It says challenge puzzles are challenge puzzle. Challenge puzzles are lessons designed to stretch your brain. Just do the best you can. Skip for now, or I'm ready. I think I'm ready for a challenge. So it looks like I've got a very thin path that I have to go through, and there's a lot of cracked ice surrounding me. So I've got cracked ice over here, I've got cracked ice over here, and cracked ice over here. And then there's things like the water, so I don't want to fall in the water or on the cracked ice. So it says help Scrat get all the way over to the acorn. So I'm going to go 1 south, 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 south. So that repeats. So I get to have 2 south blocks this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do this small problem too while I'm at it. So I will go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Perfect. I really don't need a repeat loop here because it's the exact same amount of blocks, because I have 1 pink one and 1 blue one. But this code, since I want this to be a 2, since I would be here, 1, 2, I could have done this in the same amount of blocks, so 1 pink and 1 blue, or I could have done this with 2 blues. Either or, this code would have been the exact same amount of blocks, and it would have been it wouldn't have been much harder to see. But I used a repeat loop because that's what I'm practicing. It's what code.org wants me to learn. And this one looks like we got here just fine. So we need to go up, 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 up. That is 5 norths. So we're going to go ahead and pop that in a repeat loop. And then hopefully we're able to get up to this corner, up at the top middle-ish of the screen. And then we'll worry about going this way. Perfect, almost there. Excellent, so far so good. So we don't have any bugs so far. So this time, since I need to go west-west, I could do west. Oh, I ran out of blocks. Uh-oh. Because it looks like I had to, and I used one here, and I had to use one here. Uh-oh. So I guess I have to use the repeat loop here. Even though it's the exact same code as this. That's okay. We will put it in the repeat loop, because it's not going to hurt anything for it being there. And then I should be here, so that way I should only have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to the south. So I'm going to try combining those 2 little problems. And then let's see what we get here. Let's do a reset. And we can do this. We can break this down into little problems, because this one kind of looks scary at first. But we wrote the algorithm. We wrote the step-by-step directions. Oops. Go, Scrat. We wrote the step-by-step directions in order to complete a task. The order that we did it is a sequence. So it needs to be in the correct order, because otherwise, if we had done the west part first, we would have walked on this cracked ice. Then the order of it, or the sequence, would not have been correct. Aw, yay, Scrat got the acorn, very well. And we've just completed our challenge puzzle. And this one is puzzle 11. So it looks like we've got a very narrow path as well, so we're going to be a little bit more careful. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That was going west, 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 west. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in a repeat loop, and I need it to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to change this to 4, so it will go over 4 times. And then I'm going to go 1, 2 to the north. Oops, that did not connect. And then let's see where we are here. west, 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 north, north. Looks like I need to do another repeat loop. So this here, we can have repeat loops anywhere in the code. We can have them at the top, we can have them at the beginning, we can have them in the middle, the end. It's going to run this line of code first, so the repeat loop, and then it's going to go north, north, and then do another repeat loop. So in this case, that second repeat loop needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be made 4 to the east. Oh, that's a 3. That would have been a bug in my code. And bugs are okay. Perfect. So I purposely didn't put this in a repeat loop just because it's the same amount of blocks so that we can see that repeat loops can go anywhere in the code. Perfect. And then I will use a repeat loop for this one. I could have just put 2 norths and it would have been the same amount of blocks. Oh, there we go. While I'm pointing it out, I know it's the same amount of blocks because I used 9 out of the 9 blocks that code.org says. Code.org says that this puzzle is completed in 9 blocks, and I used 9 blocks to complete this puzzle. It also includes this, so this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is what code.org says is the fastest way to do it. If you got it in more than 9, that's okay. You got it though. So we're going to go on and do number 12. And 12 is kind of a free-for-all. I could go lots of different ways. I could go up and over. I could go over and up. I could do it kind of like a stair. I could do lots of different things on this. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go over. And actually, let's do this because I want to point out that we can put multiple blocks in the repeat loop. So if I did this, it would be over, south. Uh-oh, don't want that. And it would do that 6 times. So I want it to go, let's go over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up, over, up. So I'm actually going to do east and then north. So that way I can stretch out this repeat loop and I can do over, north, over, north, over, north, and it will do that 6 times. Over, north, that's 1, over, north, that's 2, over, north, that's 3, over, north, that's 4, over, north, that's 5. So I might not need 6. Let's do 5 of these. And Scrat will do the exact same thing. So this saves me a lot of time and a lot of space. And I could see that there was a pattern here. I took kind of like a stair approach to it. Over, up. Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us today. That was Code.org's Course A, Lesson 7. Nope, I'm sorry, Lesson 8. That was Loops with Scrat. So repeat loops are great for making code faster. They're great for saving you time. They're great for making sure that you don't have to drag out 100 blocks. They are wonderful. Definitely give it a go. And we want to hear from you. What was the hardest one? Which were some of the puzzles that you tried and wanted to maybe use a loop? Did you use a loop for all the puzzles? What puzzle was your favorite? Did you try the challenge puzzle? We would love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave us a comment below. And thank you for joining us. Bye.